Hey everyone, welcome back to hour number 2 of Diet Party Blood Juice. Week number 4. Graham, where are we going? What are we doing?
Well, that all depends on you. Where are you going? You see Christopher, the daytime guardsman, is there. He's got his dual broadswords strapped to the same side of his belt.
So these are the same guards that he had the first season, the first time we met?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So I know all these guys pretty much. I mean, I've been here
Yeah.
quite a while. So. I was even here for the 2 weeks that I was after the year.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
So, Byron says, come right in. This Master Boswell has eagerly been awaiting a report.
Yeah.
Well, sure he'll be pleased by the news then.
So Byron will lead you to the double doors, open it for you, and he won't bother announcing you at this point. You're pretty much good friends at this point.
Yeah. Thistlebarrow.
You see Thistlebarrow, Boswell Thistlebarrow is actually seated at a desk near the window, and he appears to be working on something.
Yeah, I come in and I say, Thistlebarrow, good to see you.
He says, Walter, glad to see you again as always.
Yeah, it's a pleasure every time.
Yeah.
What's wrong with your arm?
Shattered.
I can probably explain that a bit better than he could. So,
Dwarf hit me with a hammer. That's really all you
yeah,
need to know.
that basically sums it up.
Oh, let me get in my chair. And he'll hop down and waddle to his chair.
If there's any sitting places in the room, I'll sit down.
Yeah, the couch. It says, what of the goblinoids?
Dead as far as I can tell.
Yeah. They're pretty dead, I'd say.
Before we get started in any of this report stuff, my father, did he come through here?
I don't believe I know the man.
His name is Andrew. He was with the Vegetable Man. Must have been like 2 weeks ago.
There's a lot of men with the Vegetable Men. I don't interact with any of them.
Okay, well, what about where the Vegetable Men were going?
The Vegetable Men. Well, you would know this. The Vegetable Men always travel the same route. They always have.
Or I mean, like, it seems weird that my father would go with them. I'm just kind of like tracking them to see.
Yes, it would be weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he says, well, as you know, the Vegetable Men travel the Vale around.
Have they been going through?
Men come and go, join the force.
Do you know of the shenanigans happening over at Fort Mitchell these days?
What? You remember that as soon as you left, when you left Thistleburgh's Manor to go to the Gnomish Burrow Town, that's when you encountered Loyal the first time.
Yeah.
But you have not been back since then.
Yeah, we're
So
just
he says, what news?
Well, I can say this.
Okay.
Basically, there's some sort of power struggle going on within Fort Mitchell, and it's between the mayor and a man named Loyal. Loyal held us up when we were trying to go through there last time because he wanted to prevent us from killing the emissaries, because he was promised by the goblins, supposedly, that they would help him take over the town and leave them alone so long as they stopped us. They failed rather spectacularly in the end, but we had...
Thanks to you, I imagine.
Well,
they got a little handsy,
why
you could say.
Yeah, they tried to put their hands where they really shouldn't have been, but it's the reason why it took us a few more days to report back. We had to go the western route instead of going straight through Fort Mitchell.
I did notice that. I was expecting sooner.
We apologize for that, but we felt it was the smarter choice.
Yeah, Fort Mitchell right now is basically being locked off by Loyal. Anyone who has any sort of knowledge about the inner workings of the Veil won't get through there too easily.
My pair harvesters did notice something quite unusual with the orcs in the north. Does that perhaps have anything to do with this character?
What did they report?
Orcs moving further south towards. They saw a battle standard on the horizon,
That's not
but
good.
was quickly taken down.
Oh. They, as in like a force intercepted them, or did they just remove the markings of their army?
I can't be sure. Those are not warriors.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it wouldn't. Like, I have no idea what Loyal is capable of, but he seems like a man who's willing to work with lesser humans, and that is scary to me.
That's
Would you like to hear the report of what happened to the emissaries?
Yes, of course.
all right. I'll do this then.
Yes.
So,
I sit back and I cross
We
my
met up-
arm.
Yeah.
we managed to meet up. We managed to meet up with the dwarves after we got past the problems of Fort Mitchell, and we split into 3 groups. Our group ended up assaulting, I guess from what I know from our group was literally just as a distraction. We were meant to distract as many goblins and whatever we could encounter for as long as possible. All the other groups took care of the bigger targets. Another group came from the east, and it was led by a dwarf that we worked together with last year in defeating what's his name? What was the name, Graham? I always forget it.
Which guy?
The Blackheart.
Blackheart.
Yes. He was the dwarf that assisted us last year in defeating Blackheart. And then the final group came up from the north. We don't know what they did. We just know they were successful. But
Was this also with the Bulvor's squad?
I believe Bolvar was there, yes. But the dwarf that helped us last year, Balthvar, we met up with him for a brief moment during the fight before he ran past us to retrieve the dwarven guide that we were given named Thor. Unfortunately, he didn't make it.
Swiping that around.
He was kind of, I guess, eaten alive by by an owlbear. We managed to fell the owlbear along with some other troubledoers, but the problem as we mentioned before, and as you can plainly see, Walzer has a broken arm. He fell under the influence of a charm spell from one of their shamans.
I speak up at this point. I'm like, do you remember that goblin from the first incident that I told you about? The one on the back of a wyvern?
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, he showed up again. And I was unable to fell him once more. He's going to be a thorn on my side for a very long time.
I mean, you were buddy-buddy with him for a while there.
Now you shut your mouth.
Well, he fought with the dwarf.
Were there any other casualties?
I believe.
So if you recall, most of Bulvor's squad was killed.
There was quite a few dwarven casualties, unfortunately, but
Lord Ragnar will not be pleased.
Yeah, but there was nothing we could do, really. We did the best we could. We certainly stopped Walzer from joining in on the fun, at least.
I sit back and I sort of cringe at that comment and like, yeah.
But all is well and good. We managed to break him free from the charm before he got himself killed or killed anyone. But it's too bad that he's basically lost the use of his good arm, unfortunately. But
what do you suppose? Well, were there any goblins that got away besides the?
They were routed very hard.
Yeah.
The two emissaries, or what I could tell, the hobgoblin emissaries were slaughtered.
And there was one bugbear that survived. The other one was slaughtered.
The only goblin that got away was, again, the rider of the wyvern.
So the rider of the wyvern got away, as well as the male bugbear.
Yes.
The male bugbear got away? Okay. I
Yes, we believe he got away, because, what's his face said, just let him go.
As far as you can tell. Secondly, once again, you guys weren't aware of a lot of the other goings-ons in the complex, so you really can't know for sure.
Yep, so I just gave the best report I could.
Yeah. He says, do you think they have anything else planned? This loyal character seems to be the brains of the operation.
It wouldn't put it past him.
And I wouldn't put it too much onto him. I don't know if I doubt he's truly the brains, or they're just using him for supplies. It's hard to say.
Either way, he's blocked off a very quick route through the Vale.
If unpleasant.
Yes. It might be worth taking him out. Maybe you know someone who can give him something to sleep peacefully, if you know what I mean.
No. What?
I mean, give him a bad pair or two.
What?
Kill him.
In his...
Oh. Well, I would need some more information.
Oh, it's worth pointing out, apparently he's been following us for quite some time. He knew, he knew quite a bit about us. He knew that we were going to attack the emissaries. He knew about our plans. He knew about everything. So maybe I look behind me to see if the door's shut. Who else is in the room, by the way?
Just you and Thistleburrows.
It might be worth investigating your staff, Thistleburrows.
Yeah.
What? I trust them with my life, clearly.
Have you been, has any of them complained about payments or anything like that? It could be as simple as money.
No, certainly not.
Okay.
I pay my staff handsomely.
Well, you need to be careful because someone's been watching.
Well, who else knew that you're involved with me?
Well, he and the entire staff of guarding staff of Fort Mitchell, apparently.
Yeah.
The only people I can think of are the staff here, or my other nephews.
Yes, whatever happened to I'm gonna have to get his name real quick.
Ravis and Bimond.
Yeah, whatever happened to Ramus? Ravis, did he get our message?
I cannot say.
Did he come back at all?
He did, yes, but they were called away. Murray as well, very urgently to Thimble.
Thimble?
Where they're from, the halfling village where they're from, which is kind of far to the west.
All right.
That might have been where my father might have gone to.
Possibly.
What makes you say that?
He has what you would call wanderlust.
A halfling term.
Yes. He is, I guess, looking for a final chapter in his life, I guess you could say. Something with a bit more adventure than raising and rearing children.
Aren't we all?
Yes.
I guess.
Please stay a few days, rest, recuperate.
You wouldn't happen to have know anyone who could do something about my arm? Even the most littlest of help would be very grateful. I'm keen to get back to swinging around my Lucerne, but it's almost impossible right now.
Unfortunately, the priests of Fort Mitchell are corrupt beyond imagine.
What a surprise.
I mean, I don't know what I expected, personally.
Do you know of any priests in the area that would be more willing to help us?
The closest, actually, a good friend of mine traveled far south to get out of the cities to the last known settlement in Thunderon territory.
How far away is such a place?
Not too far. 1 day and a half on foot.
Are you able to write maybe a letter of some kind as an introduction?
Would certainly.
I mean, if you can help me get back to my full potential, I'm willing to make the travel.
I owe you so much, Walzer.
It's okay. You've helped me as well. I mean, as far as I can tell, we are good friends, just helping each other out occasionally.
I'm glad. But please, eat, drink. It's
Sleep outside the rain for once.
too much.
Yeah.
Too much stress is not good for the soul.
Or for that arm.
You're telling me. By the way...
what happened next? Oh, yeah, still going? Okay.
Yeah, I was just going to make a slight comment about how Pike, he appreciated the pears, but I don't think it's within his diet.
Oh, boy.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm so sorry.
Oh.
That's awesome.
Anywho,
Yeah.
what do you guys need to do? Do you guys need to do anything else the rest of the day? You guys, he feeds you handsomely. You drink his mead, his wine, whatever you like, anything you like. He basically wants to give you anything you need.
Well,
No,
I mean,
no matter the cost. As long as he's got it, he'll give it to you.
Am I able to repair my clothing and armor here? Or at least maybe even replace it or something?
Yeah, he doesn't have any like plate mail, but he can give you a replacement leather armor or actually, if you'd like, Christopher, the day guardsman, will actually be honored to give you his chainmail shirt, and he will, in his own spare time, get the bronze plate mail repaired. And in the meantime,
And what's the AC of a chainmail shirt?
it's +5, so it's one worse than the bronze plate mail.
Okay, that's fine. It's better than nothing.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Okay, so down to 21 because you were up to 22 because of Angelar's bonus.
Yeah. Well, I don't have to change the
So you're back to 21. Yeah.
Yep.
And I guess if I get the opportunity to come back at some point, I'll see how he goes with the repairs and maybe swap him back.
Yeah, sure,
at some
that's
point.
fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's happy. He's happy to help. Despite your very first encounter of hostility towards Christopher, you become quite good buddies.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's very adept at using two swords at once, which is very impressive to you. He's shown you a few moves.
Yeah, well, maybe I should put another Lucerne point at the end of my Lucerne, and then we can have battle.
What else do you guys need to do?
I guess that's really all I'm here for.
Well, he really this
Yeah,
world really
I mean-
thinks you should wait and wait a few days.
It'd probably be nice to wait a few days, if only so we can get some good recovery going.
Or maybe even wait for the rain out or something like that.
At least till the rain stops.
Yeah. I personally, while I'm here, I guess just the flavor thing is I would get back to studying up on just some old tomes I used, maybe some old tomes or something about war and such. Since it's been
There's a quite extensive library if you'd like to see it, if you'd like to see some of the titles.
I mean, sure, why not? I mean, for the most part, I would be studying some of the tomes about war and war tactics and so on and so forth. Just mostly as the flavor thing to justify leadership. I mean, it makes sense considering the fact that in large by now realized he's not a very good fighter, so so instead he's going to try and make others better at fighting in
Okay.
whatever way possible.
Where are these books coming from?
These probably would be out of Thistleburrow's library if there's any in there.
Well, you see, Thistleburrow's library is mainly deals with agriculture and maximizing and like agronomy.
What about all the books that we got from the tower for him?
Yeah.
Those are about scroll work
Interesting.
and sciences.
Okay.
Well, if there's not. Well, obviously, if there's none here, then I won't. I'm like, okay, that whatever. But if there's scroll, I might as well read about the scroll work one. Sounds interesting.
Okay, yeah, it's quite intriguing.
All right.
I'll just give maybe a couple titles, but that's unimportant. A few days go past anyway.
Just a couple titles. Just a couple titles.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna.
That's maybe like a fifth of what he's got. It's the things about agronomy, maximizing stock, maximizing yield. Basically basically he's an expert in farming techniques that maximize profit, and that's why he's made so much money. And some of those books he's written, as a matter of fact.
Oh, the D20s.
Yeah, I'm just clearing it off for the.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So.
All right. So a few days, let's say four days go past, and the rain stops.
Yeah.
Finally.
Diagonal wipe.
And that diagonal wipe sound. There we go.
Yep, diagonal wipe sound effect.
Star wipe.
That was actually more of like an emblem forward and back sound effect.
Yeah, the old Batman transition, yeah.
That was the old, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess at this point, I would have the written letter of introduction from...
yeah, it's already sent. It's already on its way.
Cool, yeah. Do I have a name?
Brother Stellan is the name.
Brother Stellan?
Of a priest. He's a priest of Alzius, the Betrestian god of the sun.
Ooh. Brother Stellian. Priest.
Actually, that might not be his name anymore. Let me check right quick.
Might have had name change.
I may have changed his name.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. Sorry.
That's alright. Okay. Well, in that case, I guess we would say our goodbyes, and I would load Pike up with all the necessities and refill any water or canisters or anything like that. And
That's his name is actually Brother Grimwald.
Grimwald. Okay.
All right.
And he basically went down there to establish a Church of the Sun in the Borderlands.
Okay, so it should be pretty easy to find him then.
Yeah.
What was the name of the town?
So there is no name. It's really just called to keep on the Borderlands.
Keep
All right.
the...
And they're basically nestled in between a hill valley and a large forest. It's the last bastion of defense for Thunderon and Beachcrest as a whole. It's the southernmost settlement in the entire continent, and it leads into the forest border, the very deep, dense forest that eventually leads into the Ostlands, and which is another continent, a less developed continent, I should say. It's could be considered savage. The more south you go, the more savage it gets.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's my arm doing over these few weeks that we've been traveling?
Well, you got about 55 days left.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But it hurts, and you have no painkiller.
Okay. Is a sling helping in reducing the pain?
Yeah, certainly. It's fine. It's helping.
Okay.
Anyway, what's kind of the plan? Because actually, when you wake up on that 5th day, that the rain stops. It's very windy.
Okay. Finally!
Yeah. It's gotten cold also. Do you have a cold?
Like we're talking like winter, or like just like cold winter?
Like 30-ish.
Celsius or Fahrenheit?
Fahrenheit. It's
Okay.
yeah,
I don't know how cold that is, but
getting down there. It's 30 in the morning, and then it kind of raises to about 50. So it's temperate technically. It's not that cold, but it can be chilly in the morning and then times.
Oh, Dave, 30 is below freezing. 32 is freezing.
Yeah, 30 is slightly below freezing, but so it's cold in the nighttime and dawn, but it gets temperate.
So remind me how Pike warms himself. Is he a cold-blooded animal? Does he need the sun to warm?
He needs the sun to warm, so he's been quite depressed these past few days.
Okay, does the barding, like maybe I can attach leather to the barding and see if that warms him up in some way? Maybe over the 5 days or something like that?
What?
Like to the barding.
To...
If I like add something like maybe to warm him up, to keep him warm.
Well, the thing is,
thing.
Furs and stuff only work on people because we're warm-blooded. You can't actually wrap a cold-blooded creature in something and heat them up.
Doesn't do anything. It actually makes I imagine.
Okay. All right. Fair enough then.
So, I mean, he does.
I mean, not that you would know that. You may still drape something over.
Animal. A fucking.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He's sluggish and he's sad, but when the sun comes out, he's very happy, and he's happy to see you.
Does moving around warm him up?
Not in the same way, but he, by extension, he does move around.
Okay. All right.
You could, maybe even extra torches or something. Something that actually generates heat can help a more cold-blooded animal.
Yeah, so I imagine you keep a torch lit next to him, but even still. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. At this point, on this day, actually, when you wake up, you see that you would know based on your, mastery of spatial geometry, that Forest Inc. and the Vegetable Women are due to arrive today at this location.
Well, maybe we should wait.
We would.
Some news.
Yeah.
Also, do we have a map of how to get to this place?
To keep on the Borderlands, yeah. Well, it's quite simple. If you actually head south from this location and basically south, the hills kind of die down. It's very flat. You'll eventually come to a tree line, and at that tree line there will be basically there's one road that basically begins in the middle of the plains and extends to the keep. Okay. And the road is there for that purpose.
It's like a marching road, basically, then?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess we would wait for the Vegetable Men.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you wait. It's very boring. Do you do anything while you wait? I guess not.
I teach Pike how to juggle.
Anyway, the Forest Inc. and the Vegetable Men come by. They do their business with Byron and Thistleburrows. They exchange many crates of pears for onions and peppers and meats and whatnot. And
is Murray with these guys or not?
No, Murray's in Thimble. Remember?
Okay. And the Vegetable Men are all humans, right? Basically.
There's. Oh, actually, yes, they are all humans.
I do remember you saying that at some point. There are 20 caravans, and each caravan deals with something different. There's the dairy caravan, there's the breads and grains caravan, there's the huntsman, who basically hunts whatever he can find and sells that. So my father was a scavenger, but I assume looking at him...
Each caravan also has about 20 mercenary guards, and so there's a very large number of basically mercenary footmen that basically walk along and protect the Vegetable Men, which makes them quite safe and quite a force unto their own, almost like a traveling town. And these mercenary footmen are not always human, and it fluctuates. There's a couple of dwarves, maybe an elf here or there, half-elves, etc.
Okay. Well, I would seek out...
It's not strictly human for any particular reason.
I would seek out the head of security, I guess, if they have one.
Well, yeah, no, there is. There's all of the mercenary footmen are basically, they're bound to one caravan, but they also have one central leadership. Okay. And that is a man who you've met before, I imagine, here or there. And this is the man called Robillard. Okay. And he is He and he has a priest that travels with him, a priest of trade, who worships goddess of trade.
Okay.
And they're kind of partners. So Robillard and Michael are kind of the central leadership, kind of the glue that keeps the Beshwomen together. There is no person named Forrest Sink, but that's what they're just called.
Okay.
There may have been at one time.
I approach Robillard. I'm like, Robillard, good to see you again. It's been a while.
And he says, Walzer, is it?
Yes.
Trust me, I've heard enough about you and that mount of yours. Kind of points over to where Pike is at and sees him kind of frolicking happily in the sun.
Yeah, rolling around in the dirt or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes. Well, I'm glad that makes you aware of me, because I actually am looking for my father. He might have joined up with you in Bit Cove. I was wondering if you might have known where he'd gotten off to.
How long ago?
Oh boy. Well, from what my mother had told me, it would have been 2 weeks from your last time in Bit Cove. You would have joined up. I'm not sure when you were there last.
Let me check the papers.
It'd be like 3 weeks now, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. He says, let me check the files, and he goes to his cart or his caravan where he stays and sleeps and all that.
Yeah.
And he gets out a big bundle of parchment, and it kind of goes through them. Is there any reason he would use his real name or full? Is there any reason he might be using an alias or?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, he had told his family that he was going to join the Vegetable Men for a tour, I guess you would call it. So his name was Andrew of Bit Cove. Do I happen to know like his father's name?
Yeah, you would know it. Remember, it's correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I had it be Andrew, son of Andrew.
Yes, no, you're right. Yeah, Andrew, son of Andrew. Yeah, of Bit Cove.
And I believe you would tack on normally a profession, so it would be Andrew, son of Andrew of Big Cove of the Smiths.
Yeah, that's right.
He would actually be of the Ironmongers, because that's what he did. He was a monger.
Okay.
And so you give him that full name, and he says, "Well, I've actually got an Andrew that's here right now, and I've had one come through. This looks to be right. Andrew just says Andrew though, but it was 3 weeks ago.
Okay. Do you know where he left you?
Yeah, actually here 3 weeks ago.
At Thistle Burrows.
Right.
Huh. Do you happen to know what he looked like?
The man, I couldn't tell you. We get so many conscripts.
He would have been an older gentleman, if that helps.
Well, actually, you've noticed that there are men of all stripes, ages, and creeds, and whatever.
Okay.
So that wouldn't necessarily help.
Right. Okay. Well, maybe I need to talk to Thistleburrow again. By chance, your priest, do they heal for money?
Michael, well, he does have, actually, you know what? He does have some sway with, I don't understand how that religion works and all that, but
neither do I.
England does.
But, we do call for him if, it's possible that food can spoil, and so he kind of refreshes it for us, or other than that, I couldn't tell you what he can do. He can probably do a lot of things that I don't know about.
Am I able to speak with him?
Oh, yeah, he's right over there, and he points to... so you see a man who's got basically a robe on, and it's gold-colored, yellow-colored, and it's got a big coin on it.
Okay.
I mean, I'd probably just be buying... I know he's doing all this, I'd probably just be maybe buying a few extra supplies from them, if I so inclined.
Okay, so this is all pretty much food.
Yeah, pretty much food.
So what else are you looking for?
I mean, I can't think of any armor I need. My armor didn't get that damaged.
I don't think you got hit at all, did you?
Well, didn't I?
I
No, I
mean,
can't
not
remember.
enough to ruin armor like I did.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So,
So I'd go talk to Michael. I'd be like, excuse me, Priest Michael.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry, this the rain. You understand?
Of course. Listen, I was, in a battle with some goblins a while back, and
Yeah, I see that break in your arm.
yeah, I was wondering if you perchance had anything that, or were able to heal in some way.
Well, the coin mother works in mysterious ways. You see.
I jingle my coin bag.
Well, no, that's not what I mean.
Oh.
I can protect you from harm. I can bolster your courage. I can detect magical radiation. But as far as damage that's already been done, unfortunately, I don't. The coin mother doesn't favor those who lack caution.
Okay, that's fine. We've already made plans to see another priest. But thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, not you. Didn't mean to sneeze.
Yeah, maybe you should ask the coin mother to protect you from the cold, and then I walk away.
Okay.
I guess after all that, I'll go have another final chat with Thistlebarrow.
Okay. So actually, when you turn back to Thistlebarrow's Manor, you see something coming down the road.
Okay.
Coming from the north in the direction, basically coming through the forest.
Okay.
And basically leading out into the forest, and it appears to be armed dwarves.
Okay.
This naturally causes a sort of commotion with the fighters in the group, and you hear commotion happening, people shouting left and right. You see Robillard start to shout orders, form up, etc.
Yeah.
I sort of look at Robillard. I'm like, these are dwarves. They shouldn't be.
I mean,
hostile to you.
I join up with him, and
you never know. The coin mother teaches caution, and this time, I'll agree.
Okay. I send a quick message to Pike to make himself hidden.
I come up to Enor. Not Enor. I am Enor. Sorry. Rudy slip.
I slip out of Ingelard's body, and then I approach Ingelard.
I remove my skin and leave it behind.
I reveal that I am actually a parasitic entity.
Yes.
There is no Engelard.
I walked up
Never
to
has been.
Well, I walked up to Walter just go, what's happening? What's with the sudden
it would appear that there'd be dwarves coming around the mountain.
Interesting. Are they coming to? I wonder what they're.
Once again, based on your mastery of spatial geometry, you determine that these dwarves traveled not through Fort Mitchell and not through the Valley of the Thousand Statues, but actually went through the deep, dark, dangerous forest route.
It seems they know of the troubles in Fort Mitchell. Maybe they're allies. It's a good chance.
You see that they just keep coming. There's about at this point 40 of them, as well as 3 kind of very ornately decorated commanders.
I would go inside.
None of which you recognize.
I would go inside at this point and find Thistlebarrow and just ask, are you expecting dwarves today?
Dwarves, and Byron is in there as well. He had brewed some tea, and he was serving. He says, "Byron, see what that's about."
There's about 40 of them, and they have a few commanders. I try and put my finger on who they were.
Goodness, at once, Byron. And Byron rushes out. Engelard at his heels, I imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he sees the dwarves there, and so all of these dwarves are basically armored in battle armor, like battle regalia, like the kind of armor you've seen before that they've had is chainmail, it's ringmail, it's not standardized at all. It's just kind of what they had, what they own. But this appears that these dwarves have been outfitted for war.
Oh.
They all have breastplates, chainmail sleeves, and basically leather pants. They've got boots on. They all have red cloth, basically the leather pants, but they've got red shirts on. They've got red tufts on their helms. They've all got various weapons. The weapons are not standardized because all dwarves. It's within the right of a dwarf to choose his own weapon.
Yeah.
But these commanders as well have red on, and this seems like trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Can I make Pike hidden, but within mental telepathy range?
Sure. Yeah. No, I get you. Yeah. Whatever you like. Yeah.
Okay.
So Byron comes out and he sees. He walks down the stairs. All of the vegetable men, the mercenaries, have been. They've scrambled. And they've all kind of stood up. They've got their stuff on, their kit on. They're just kind of waiting and watching. The dwarves have stopped in formation in rows of 10, 4 ranks, and then the commanders, 2 of them. And these commanders, you haven't seen, as far as you can tell, scanning the crowd. You don't see Bafar, Bolvor, or Thor anywhere. And you also know that when you were there last, Lord Ragnar didn't wear red. None of the dwarves that you see actually wore red in any sort of significant manner. This may be different dwarves, actually, now that you think about it.
All right. That makes sense, I guess.
Or it could be the same dwarves, or it could be Lord Ragnar's dwarves, it could be other dwarves. There are other dwarves around, far to the north, far to the south, etc. Dwarven organization is askance compared to human organization.
Sure.
But Byron rushes out and he asks you to follow him, Walzer and Engelard.
Okay.
Come with me. He talks to Robillard and Michael and has them come with him, and you guys kind of go as a group, as a unit. Just shared needs. And Byron, heading the kind of procession, walks up to one of the commanders who have now gotten together and are standing next to each other, and they say, the dwarf speaks up very loudly and he says, "Not looking for any trouble, boys, just passing through, seeing if we can get some supplies."
Where are you heading?
And says, "It's none of your concern, dwarven business."
I simply asked mostly because we've worked with the dwarves before. In fact, just recently, we worked with Lord Ragnar in dealing with goblin problems. So I figured if you're the same kin.
We work for Lord Ragnar. We have Lord Ragnar's best interest at heart. So never you mind.
Why is it that you avoided Fort Mitchell? It seemed it'd be a lot easier to go through that way.
Fort Mitchell's been blockaded, and that's part of the reason why we're here.
Blockaded?
There's been some certain developments with the goblins there's been certain developments with the Red Hand goblins of the Northern Mountains. Not too much. I brought a list of supplies, sir. If you could gather these for me, handing it to somebody who takes it. He's not really sure.
So it looks like Loyal's starting to make his move then.
Which direction would you be heading in, if you don't mind me asking? We are about to set off ourselves. It might be an idea to maybe follow your procession.
It's going to be dangerous. Wouldn't want to inconvenience the cripples.
I smirk at that, and I'm like, it'd be no inconvenience.
Just don't let them know how you got that.
Byron speaks up at this point. He says, "Where are you going? There's not. You seem outfitted for war. Surely the fight's further north. What are you doing all the way down here? You could be bringing brigands or enemies to Master Thistleburrows." And the dwarf looks angry at Byron's tone, and dwarf says, and he snaps at the other dwarf, and the other dwarf produces a scroll, and he says, Lord Ragnar told me to produce this scroll for Master Thistleburrows in case he caused a stink. So present this to your master, and we'll be on our way.
Well, you can understand why he would ask. 40 armed dwarves at his doorstep isn't something that happens every day.
And he says, just see that it gets delivered. And Byron will take it, and he will go quickly inside.
Do you happen to know a dwarf by the name of Thor?
And he says, which house?
I would know that, but I can't remember.
Yeah.
Norfolk.
Norfolk? Yeah, Norfolk House.
And he says, I, the mute.
Yes. The mute.
He says, I know of him. I know that he cavorted with you humans.
Well, cavorting is a strange way to put friendship, but sure. I was just wondering if he made it home safe.
He did. Once again, none of your concern. Humans always poking their noses in other people's business.
Well, I was simply inquiring about the welfare of my friend, but all right.
He didn't inquire about you.
That's because he's a mute, but that's besides the point.
Excuse me. All right. No, you're totally right. He wouldn't say that. Let's skip that.
Okay.
So Byron waves and he says, Walzer, Engelord, in here now.
Sure.
I try. I give a stiff human salute to the dwarf, and then I walk back down to the house. It'd be a left-handed salute, obviously.
You hear the lead dwarf spit on the ground.
I whisper to I just was ready to say something's not right.
Yes.
Nothing.
I would be very cautious of these dwarves simply because something has happened with the human relationship with the dwarves. I'm not entirely sure what.
Might have had something to do with attacking a bunch of them.
Well, I mean...
I'm pretty sure it would have been clear that, he wasn't himself.
Anyway.
Sounds like human trickery to me.
To the magical person who doesn't exist yet.
Yeah.
Anywho, you guys make it back into the study where Thistleburrows has undone the scroll and read it, and he looks very grave and very grim. Essentially what he says, and he explains this to you, he says, just for the sake of time, I don't want to read it with a stutter, so I'll just tell you what he says. He basically tells you that 3 days ago, there was there was trade that was going on between the Gilvac stronghold of the Vale and the goodness, what was it called? And the pardon me, I will just stall. Can I get some interlude music?
Doodle 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 doodle.
I actually prefer silence.
GM asked me for interlude music. You shut your whore mouth. Doodle 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 doodle.
No, okay, yeah. So, okay. Let me just explain. So basically there was trade going on between the Gilvac stronghold of the Vale and the Nalkar stronghold farther south, which is actually not in Beechcrest anymore, but the Dwarven nation exists on another strata that is doesn't conform to human geography, right? So the Nowcar stronghold to the south is actually not in Beechcrest, but so they've got trade roads that are deep underground. Essentially, so there is a trade road that links the Ulfvik stronghold to the north, the Gilvac stronghold in the center, and the Nowcar stronghold to the south. And the Nowcar stronghold is it's actually to the southwest of here, but that's beside the point. Boswell Thistleburrows tells you that Lord Aragni is furious because in order to combat the goblins, they had to ask for basically a shipment of weapons from the Nowcar stronghold to the south. And they got them in plenty of time, and they were able to outfit themselves. But they also sent things in return, and what's basically gold back in return, as well as some further supplies. Shipment of there's ale that went. There was basically ores. Actually, fun fact: the Ulfvik stronghold to the far south basically sits within a very large gold mine. Literally, and is actually responsible for the human mint, the Beechcrestian mint.
Okay.
Or the Thunderon mint, rather. Basically, that's where all the gold that you spend and work with comes from. So there was actually gold ore in that shipment as well, ale, and basically gold coins also. However, that shipment didn't make it all the way to the south. Lord Ragni is furious because, one, he knows for sure that the Nowcar dwarves didn't attack them, because not only was the stronghold, not only did the caravan not make it, it was also nowhere to be found along the way. He knows that it left, couldn't have gone anywhere. It's a straight line basically. There's not any branching paths or anything. It's basically one tunnel that leads from A to B that was hewn a long time ago. And the caravan is just vanished, seemingly.
Maybe
Lord Ragni knows that the keep on the Borderlands is the closest settlement to the point where it was taken.
Well, it's a good thing we happen to be going there. I mean, we could potentially investigate ourselves as to the disappearance of this stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, Lord Ragni is furious, and he's sending these dwarves to basically declare war on the keep on the Borderlands.
What? Oh. I mean, I kind of picked up on that, but that's
so Thistleburrows, basically, let's just get it all on the table. Thistleburrows tells you that he can't have this if the dwarves attack the Thunderon settlement. The dwarves are too proud to back down. They will basically attack the keep and start a
How much gold are we talking about? Is that mentioned?
As far as the ore value, basically the entire value of the caravan was something of 1,000 gold that you would know. It's not necessarily the value of the thing; it's the principle.
Yeah, I imagine
that dwarves care about more.
So,
Lord Ragni basically.
Okay, yeah.
Lord Ragni is perfectly happy going to war over a brazen attack on dwarven freedom. Whenever the humans came to the Vale centuries ago, they basically ceded. They took the land from the dwarves, and there was a war that happened then. And the dwarves are allowed to live in their hillsides, and they have their own trade, and they have their own. They can have their own currency. They choose not to, but they can have their own currency. And they have basically a certain amount of rights that are completely separate from human rights, but they also interact freely, and they are friendly to one another. Lord Ragni is basically in the letter is saying that he considers this caravan loss a brazen attack on dwarven freedom, and he is basically already salty that Walzer attacked his force, and he was salty that the humans in general basically organized the attack on the stronghold in the first place with the goblins, and essentially this does not bode well for political relations in the Vale in general.
Fucking goblin, man.
You realize that it seems to be all stems from Loyal's original plan, or maybe this was his plan the whole time.
Well, just so I can sum up everything, because it got rambling there. Basically, there's trade between two different dwarf settlements, pretty much.
Yeah.
One of the trade caravans just flat out disappeared along the way, suspiciously close to the keep at the Borderlands. And because of certain situations that have happening, such as Loyal funding goblins, walls are being forced to attack the dwarves without really realizing it. And I guess Lord Broadnight not truly understanding that he was not of his own mind.
Surely one person hitting a dwarf is not going to cause an entire army to attack. Is it really that bad of a
It's the straw that broke the camel's back.
I mean, basically, so there's that, and just in general, basically, Lord Ragnar has reached the end of his patience over however many years, and now he's basically
Lord Ragnar has always been salty about this. Lord Ragnar is very old.
He seemed very reasonable when we talked to him. He seemed the most reasonable dwarf there.
He did. Yes, he did. He has also been trained in the arts of diplomacy.
Maybe.
But he has come to the end of his rope, it would seem.
Hmm.
And Disselborough basically tells you he will send word to Lord Ragnar to try and calm him, and he will do his best. Let's kind of talk this out. We don't have to roleplay a lot of this.
Yeah.
But Lord Ragnar sends Byron, not Lord Ragnar. Disselborough sends Byron out to try and calm the dwarves. The dwarves agree to wait for word from Lord Ragnar for an explanation, and they will basically stand there. Forest Sink and the Vegetable Bin, however, will move on. So if you guys don't need anything else from them, they will move on.
Yeah.
No, probably I got what I wanted, but so.
While I'm talking
Disselborough.
to Disselborough, I mean, if I get a chance, I would inquire about Andrew as to why he was dropped off here.
Well, he explains the same thing. There are many men that come through Forest Sink and the Vegetable Bin, and none of them are particularly stand out.
I know, but they told me that they dropped off an Andrew here at your premises.
That's certainly possible. Once again, I don't keep tabs on everybody who walks by.
Okay. Do you... Alright, I don't know who to ask. Is there maybe someone on staff who handles people who do walk by, for example?
No, it's free land. I mean, he lives here, but he likes it because it's open, and he doesn't. He's got his own businesses and he's got his own things working. He doesn't care if somebody walks by.
Well, it's almost like they dropped him off and then he got a job. That's what I'm sort of getting at. I want to know if anyone has hired him.
What do you mean? As far as you know, he got off and then walked south.
Okay. Fair enough. I guess Disselborough, I mean, we could ride quickly to
that's what I was actually
the Borderland Keep and see if we can warn them in advance about what's coming.
Well,
I mean,
wait for Lord Ragnar's response. I've sent a proposal to him with that very thing in mind. I've reasoned with him that if he splits his defenses now, it could mean the fall of the stronghold. This character in Fort Mitchell has already, the goblins even have already invaded the stronghold once, but there are still more goblins out there. There always are. Who's to say he won't attack again? It would behoove Lord Ragnar to err on the side of caution in this instance.
Yeah.
If he splits his forces, they'll surely all die if he's too rash.
Did it also literally mention in the letter about my attack on a dwarf?
It did.
Well, then it's probably true.
Yeah.
Am I able to? Is there any way that I can maybe speak with him at some point to try and quell this?
Clarify that,
Speak with Lord Ragnar?
Yeah.
Kind of mind controlled, in a way.
Well, you can certainly send your own letter if you want to.
Yeah, I wish to.
It'd probably be better if Inglord sent it.
That's fine. We can have it be that he sent him at the same time. How about?
Yeah.
Yeah. probably have Lord maybe be the one to write it, partially because he probably can write a lot better than Walter can with his left hand.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And also maybe it'd be better to have a third party, somebody else to play that's not named that's not Walzer.
Okay, you can do that. Yeah, well, that's fine.
Okay.
Just for the sake of rolling a dice for once, go and make a diplomacy check.
All right. Oh boy.
This is diplomacy, if there ever there was one.
Yep, I'd say so. Let me just make sure the plus was 15, I believe.
15. Yeah, this is intelligence based.
Yep.
Don't fail this.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So you send the letter. It takes a day to get there.
Right.
The dwarves remain. They set up camp. They set up basically base camp here outside. Another day goes by. It gets colder than it was the last day. It gets very windy.
Well, if that's the case, I would bring back Pike. I'd bring Pike back to the stables at this point.
Sure.
Now that we know what's
basically,
happening, yeah.
On the third day, oh, sorry.
Yeah, I was about to say, and they know of Pike, so it's very little point in hiding him. So.
Sure. Yeah. Theoretically, they know of Pike.
Maybe.
Anyway.
Lord might spend this time practicing actually hitting a damn thing with his crossbow. It's not very successful.
Let's go to... So the third day, a return letter comes back. It's very windy, it's very cold. And it's very unpleasant outside. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there we go. That's good. A letter comes back basically saying that he'll agree to Thistleborough's terms, but he'll give you basically 20 days to investigate.
All right. That's time.
Thistleboroughs will tell you that he knows some of the characters in the Keep of the Borderlands. Firstly, Brother Grimbald, who he's already told you about. But secondly, he's got a good friend down there whose name is Captain something.
Yeah.
Captain
Sinat.
What was that?
Nothing.
Sinat.
Stop talking.
Type.
Yeah, I got it.
Who? What? Where am I? Who are you people?
Captain Sinat is the basically military leader of the Keep on the Borderlands and basically responsible for its defense. Also a close personal friend of Boswell Thistleboroughs.
Okay.
He is an Auslander man, meaning he has like dark skin. He's a dark-skinned man from the Auslands, from further south. He's old, kind of older.
Okay. I guess in this meantime, if we're heading down there, it might be a good idea to get an introduction letter, even if he doesn't have to send it off. We'd carry it with us.
Yes, that'd probably be the best.
That's fine. He'll do that. Yeah, that's no problem.
Yeah.
Other than that, let's take a break.
All right, guys, we'll be back in 3 to 5 for hour number 3 of week 4 of Dire Party Blood Juice. Don't go anywhere.
Yep.
Hopefully we'll get some new characters. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. All right. All right.